Hey everyone, gather around for a story that might just change how you see things. It's about two men, a forgotten statue, and a God with a very strange sense of justice. In a quiet village, nestled at the foot of a mountain, stood a small, weathered statue of the earth god. Over time, it had become neglected, covered in moss and dirt. Every day, a woodcutter would pass by. He was a practical man with no time for gods or rituals. He'd often scoff at the statue, sometimes even kicking a loose stone at its base, muttering, "What good are you, sitting there all day?" He saw it as nothing more than a lump of earth, a useless relic of a bygone era. Then there was a farmer. Unlike the woodcutter, the farmer was deeply devout. Seeing the statue in such a state broke his heart. So, he made it his mission to care for it. He spent his afternoons gently scrubbing away the grime, clearing the weeds, and replanting fresh flowers around it. He would polish the stone until it shone, offering incense and praying for a good harvest and the well-being of his family. To him, this statue was the sacred protector of the land. One night, the earth god appeared to both men in their dreams. To the woodcutter, the god said nothing, simply showing him visions of a bountiful forest, untouched and full of strong, healthy trees. The woodcutter woke up feeling oddly refreshed, as if a great weight had been lifted from his shoulders. But the dream the farmer had was a nightmare. The earth god appeared before him, his face stern and unforgiving. "You have shown me great devotion," the god's voice boomed, "and for your piety I shall grant you a swift end. You will die in 3 days." The farmer woke up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding. He couldn't understand. He had been so faithful, so respectful. Why was he being punished while the disrespectful woodcutter was seemingly blessed? For 2 days, he was paralyzed by fear and confusion. He prayed harder than ever, begging the earth god for an explanation, for mercy, but the heavens remained silent. He felt betrayed, his lifetime of faith crumbling into dust. On the 3rd day, as the sun began to set, the farmer stood before the statue one last time. He looked at the clean, polished stone, the fresh flowers, and felt a surge of anger. "What was it all for?" he yelled, his voice echoing in the twilight. "My devotion, my respect. It meant nothing." In that moment of raw despair, something inside him snapped. He realized he had been a prisoner, not of the god, but of his own unquestioning faith. He had spent his life seeking approval from an external power, living in fear of its judgment. The woodcutter, who believed in nothing but the strength of his own axe and the reality of the forest, was truly free. As this realization washed over him, the farmer felt the fear of death melt away. He was no longer bound by the promise of heavenly rewards or the threat of divine punishment. He was simply a man standing on the earth under the vast, silent sky. He was free. He turned his back on the statue and walked away, not into death, but into a new life, a life he would build with his own 2 hands, guided by his own will. He didn't know what the future held, but for the first time, he felt he was the one in control of his own story. This tale isn't about whether gods are real or not. It's about where we place our power. Do we give it away to something outside of ourselves, or do we find it within? It's a powerful question to think about. Thanks for listening. If this story resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.